Today, we will talk about one of the most mind-bending ideas ever discussed. This one idea breaks everything we know. It's the kind of concept that challenges the way we understand reality, time, existence, and even our own thoughts, forcing us to question whether the world is really as stable and certain as it seems. Today, we will talk about this one idea breaks everything we know. So, before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. 1. The idea that shatters certainty itself. There are ideas in human history that do not simply add to our understanding of reality, they challenge the foundation of understanding itself. Among them is one particularly unsettling concept, that everything we think we know may be incomplete, uncertain, or fundamentally misinterpreted. This is not just a philosophical thought experiment, but a deep challenge to how knowledge, perception, and reality are structured. The idea suggests that certainty itself may be an illusion, and that every belief humans hold is built on layers of assumptions that could, in principle, be wrong. What makes this idea so powerful is not that it gives us a new answer, but that it undermines the reliability of all answers. It does not replace one truth with another. Instead, it questions whether absolute truth is even accessible to human beings. From ancient philosophy to modern science, this question continues to reappear in different forms, each time shaking confidence in what was previously considered solid knowledge. If this one idea is taken seriously, it forces a reconsideration of everything, from the nature of reality and consciousness to science, logic, and even personal identity. It suggests that what we call knowledge might be more like a temporary model rather than a final truth, constantly updated but never complete. 2. The limits of human perception and understanding. Human knowledge is fundamentally limited by perception. Everything we know about the world comes through senses that are not perfect instruments. Our eyes only detect a narrow range of light, our ears only hear certain frequencies, and our brains constantly interpret and filter incoming information. This means that we never experience reality directly. We experience an internal representation constructed by the brain. Modern neuroscience has shown that perception is not passive recording, but active interpretation. The brain fills in gaps, corrects inconsistencies, and prioritizes certain information over others. As a result, what we perceive as reality is already a simplified version of what actually exists. This raises an important question. If all knowledge is filtered through imperfect systems, how can we be certain that anything we know is completely accurate? Even scientific observation depends on instruments designed and interpreted by humans, which introduces additional layers of limitation. The deeper we examine perception, the more we realize that certainty becomes increasingly difficult to maintain. The idea that this one idea breaks everything we know begins here, with the recognition that knowledge is always mediated, never direct. 3. The collapse of absolute truth. For much of human history, people believed in absolute truths, fixed principles that were true regardless of perspective or context. These included religious doctrines, philosophical systems, and later scientific laws. However, modern thinking has increasingly challenged the idea of absolute certainty. In science, theories are no longer seen as final truths, but as models that best explain available evidence. Newton's laws, once considered absolute, were later shown to be approximations of deeper realities described by relativity and quantum mechanics. This does not mean Newton was wrong, but rather that his framework was incomplete. This pattern suggests that knowledge is always provisional. Every new discovery has the potential to reshape or overturn previous understanding. If this trend continues, it implies that there may never be a final, complete theory of everything accessible to human minds. Instead, knowledge may always remain an evolving process. The unsettling implication is that what we currently believe to be true may one day be seen as only a partial or simplified version of reality. This undermines the traditional idea that truth is something fixed and discoverable once and for all. 4. Reality as a constructed experience. Another aspect of this idea is the possibility that reality itself is not experienced directly, but constructed by the mind. Neuroscience shows that the brain actively builds a model of the external world based on sensory input. This model is what we experience as reality. However, this means that reality as we perceive it is not necessarily identical to reality, as it exists independently of observation. For example, color does not exist in the external world in the way we perceive it. It is a product of how the brain interprets light wavelengths. Similarly, sound is not present in the environment itself, but is constructed from vibrations interpreted by the brain. This raises a profound question. If so much of our experience is constructed internally, how much of what we call reality is actually objective? The idea suggests that we live inside a kind of interpretive framework rather than direct access to the world. If this is true, then what we consider reality is already a simplified, edited, and translated version of something deeper that we cannot directly perceive. This challenges the assumption that human experience provides a reliable foundation for absolute knowledge. 5. The role of language and thought in shaping knowledge. Language plays a crucial role in how humans understand the world. Every concept we think about is shaped by the words and structures available to us. However, language is not a perfect representation of reality. It simplifies, categorizes, and generalizes complex experiences into symbolic systems. While this allows communication and reasoning, it also imposes limitations on thought itself. Some experiences are difficult or impossible to fully express in words, which means that certain aspects of reality may exist beyond linguistic description. Furthermore, different languages can shape thought differently, influencing how people perceive relationships, time, and identity. This suggests that knowledge is not only constrained by perception, but also by the structure of language. If thought itself depends on linguistic frameworks, then our understanding of reality is doubly filtered first by perception and then by language. This adds another layer to the idea that everything we know may be incomplete or distorted. It raises the possibility that there are aspects of existence that cannot be fully captured by human cognition at all. 6. Scientific models and the evolution of understanding. Science is often viewed as the most reliable path to knowledge, but even science operates through models rather than absolute truths. Scientific theories are built to explain observations and predict outcomes, but they are always subject to revision. As new data becomes available, existing theories may be refined or replaced. This does not weaken science. Rather, it is one of its greatest strengths. However, it also reinforces the idea that knowledge is never final. Quantum mechanics and relativity, for example, revolutionized our understanding of the universe, yet they also revealed deep gaps in our comprehension of reality. Scientists continue to search for a unified theory that can reconcile these frameworks, but such a theory remains elusive. This ongoing process suggests that scientific understanding is always evolving, never complete. If every scientific breakthrough leads to deeper questions, then it is possible that human understanding will always remain partial. In the end, ideas have the power to reshape the way we see reality, and some are so profound that they challenge the very foundations of what we believe to be true. The concept we explored today is one of those rare ideas that forces us to question assumptions that have guided human thought for generations. Whether it ultimately proves to be correct or not, its true significance lies in its ability to push the boundaries of knowledge and inspire deeper investigation. History has shown that many of humanity's greatest breakthroughs began as unsettling questions that challenged accepted wisdom. Perhaps the most fascinating part is that the search for answers is still ongoing, and each new discovery brings us closer to understanding a reality that may be far stranger, more complex, and more extraordinary than we ever imagined. If you liked this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up, leave a comment, and click the button to subscribe.